Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Thanos #1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Christopher Canwell with art by Luca Pisari, Ruth Redmond on colors, Corey Petit on letters, and a great cover by Lionel Francis Yu and Sonny Go. Of course, more variant covers to be seen at the end of the video. Now, in this issue, we have Thanos versus the Illuminati. The Mad Titan descends upon Earth to retrieve something he has lost, and the Illuminati must band together to stop him because they're the ones who hid it from him. So this premise tells me about a lot of things, specifically who are the Illuminati, who are the current members of the Illuminati. I think that's a very interesting mystery. Also, I'm a big fan of Christopher Canwell, both the TV stuff and the comics, so very excited to get into this comic. A long-awaited return, I think, to comics for Canwell. So let's take a look at some of the preview art here. I'm not very familiar with the art team, but from these preview pages, I can tell you I love the detail. I love the grandeur, like just the grand design that we're having here. Love seeing this ship as Thanos is taking this large piece of the city up to his ship. And this feels like it's going to be a giant cosmic tail. Very cool stuff. It is an interesting color palette for Thanos, like all the green light. It doesn't feel much like Thanos, right? I think Thanos feels more of of course, a purple shade. But I think it's a really cool tone and an ambient that it presents for the narrative. So, yeah, I really am interested in seeing this iteration of the character. Trying to pick up where he might have left off. There's a lot of mysteries already, like who is that person lying on the floor? What is Thanos looking for? And why have the Illuminati hidden that from him? And that's just kind of the beginning. So I'm very excited for this. Once we get a chance to read it, of course, we'll definitely do a follow-up video or maybe talk about it on the stream. So stay tuned for that. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for The Punisher #1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. I'm very excited. I got to talk to the writer, David Pepose, a little while ago. Make sure to go check out our video for that on the channel. But this issue is written by David Pepose with art by Dave Watcher, colors by Dan Brown. In this issue, is this the return of Frank Castle or the start of something else? Frank Castle has disappeared, but evil will always need to be punished. With all new threats rising to claim innocent victims, criminals will need to be aware of a dangerous vigilante hunting them down from the shadows. Who is this new Punisher? What put him on his path of vengeance? And when the smoke clears, will he even make it out alive? It's John Wick meets the fugitive in this action-packed new saga from Ringo Award-winning writer David Pepose. And Eisner and Harvey Award nominated artist David Watcher as the Marvel Universe meets the next generation of punishment. So, as I mentioned, I'm very excited for this issue, not only because I got to talk to David about everything leading up to this, and like I said, we have a link for this on the video, so make sure to go check that out. But just the beginning of a whole new introduction of a character with such long legacy as the Punisher, right? If you haven't finished Jason Aaron's run on the Punisher, I think that will tell you kind of what ended up happening with Frank. But I'm very excited to see what the team does with this iteration of the character and how the Marvel Universe receives this character. Also, Dave Watcher is a fantastic writer. If you haven't checked out Planet of the Apes, it's really, really it looks fantastic. So I think he's the perfect artist for a book that needs to be gritty and dark and full of violence in this discourse. So very excited for this. Let's check out some of the preview art here. And as you can see here, very much of a police story as we begin, giving us clues all over the place already if you kind of pay attention. So I love the dropping of these details. And as we kind of start seeing and following the characters around now, what's going on here in this Black Dragon Club? Who is the Black Dragon? I feel like that's going to be part of our first introduction to this world. And as you can see here, with the all new design for this character. We see the eyes pop into the door. So really cool stuff. I'm very excited for this series. I'm very excited for this issue in particular. So we'll definitely talk more about this once I get a chance to read it. Of course, there's a lot of really cool variants at the end of the video, so make sure to stay tuned for those. But hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for What If Dark, Tomb of Dracula. I have been a really big fan of these What If Darks. We've gotten a lot of really cool, very interesting stories, whether it's Gwen Stacy or Moon Knight or any other character that we've seen. So let's talk about the creative team on this one. This book is written by Mark Wolfman with art by David Cutler. We have a bunch of inkers: Scott Hanna, David Cutler, Victor Alsaba, and Livesay. We also have a few colorists: Antonio Fabella, Di Conofi, and Edgar Delgado, with letters by Travis Lanham. So let's see what this issue is going to be about. In this issue, legend Marv Wolfman returns to the tomb of Dracula and the character he co-created. What if the legendary Dracula transformed Blade, the vampire slayer, into a vampire? What a cool premise. It's just such an interesting twist, I think. And I think we all love Blade. I think there's a lot of stuff in the periphery about Blade currently, including some updates about his upcoming film. So what better way to celebrate that than taking back the story to Marv Wolfman and maybe doing a little twist on that character that he created and that so many people love. Let's take a look at some of the preview art here. And it all really feels very reminiscent of the times of this character being created, which I think has a lot to do with the people behind this. I'm looking forward to seeing how this book comes together, seeing that there are so many people working on it, on the inks and colors, because everyone has a little bit of a different style, right? So I think that's going to be interesting to explore, but it's all really on top of the same pencil. So I really like the design of Blade, like very different than what we're used to seeing with just like a leather trench coat. But this is definitely how the character started. I kind of really dig those sunglasses, and also just seeing the squad around him. I think that's a lot of fun. So of course I love these what ifs. I love seeing alternate takes on some of this story, and of course, as any of these fun what ifs, we have some really cool covers you can check out at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. So hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for G.O.D.S. #2. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Valerio Schiti, Marte Gracia on colors, letters by Travis Lanham. We have multiple covers. We'll see some at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But in this book, Hickman and Valerio Schiti continue to redefine Marvel cosmology. The Centum normally has 25 primes. Now only 3 remains. College isn't worth the time and money. There's a hidden book in the hidden library that hides a hidden door. Cubist core is from Georgia. Like that matters. I have no idea what any of that stuff means. I just read the synopsis, and to me, it is nonsense. I don't want to spoil the first book, but all I will say is we do have a review for that on the channel. Make sure to go check it out. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoy how Hickman has been kind of expanding some of the lore, including like some of these cosmic beings, some of these magical beings, whatever these gods are supposed to be. Really, really fun characters that are being introduced. So let's take a look at some of the preview art. And, you know, Valerio Schiti is a top talent over at Marvel. So I can see why he would be tasked with bringing in this book to life. I like seeing all these characters kind of coalesce and kind of work together, or at least appear together on the screen. There's definitely a lot that Hickman can do with these interpersonal relationships. So that's really fun. Now let's take a look at some more art here. And yeah, we're just being introduced to all kinds of crazy nonsense. I'm very interested in the whole hidden library, hidden book, hidden aspect of everything, because it definitely feels like very Jonathan Hickman of, like, putting in a mystery box within a mystery box within another box, and just really cool stuff. And as with the first issue, Hickman will have laid out all the clues, and then you don't even realize until the issue's over that the story you were following all along. So really, really fun stuff. So hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for The Amazing Spider-Man number 37. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team here. We have Seb Wells on writing duties, with Ed McGuinness on pencils, Emilio Liso as an interlude artist. We also have Mark Farmer, Wade Badger, and Ed McGuinness as inkers, Marcio Menes and Eric Arcienega as colorists, and letters by Joe Caramagna. So I have been on and off the Amazing Spider-Man book, but I do love doing these previews because it kind of tells me if this is going to be one of the ones I want to read, or maybe check back in on the story. This is the first prelude of the whole gang war stuff that's coming out soon. Also, this has a character that I thought was very interesting coming out from Dark Web. So let's take a look at what this issue is going to bring. Gang war, first strike. Wreck Rap returns. Spider-Man's funhouse reflection might be the thing to help the wall crawler out of darkness he can't seem to shake. Well, Wreck Rap might help if he weren't targeted by the scariest new Spidey villain in decades. Also, gang war is coming. I think that's where the interlude artist comes in. So I mean, I haven't read the issue, but I would feel that's the structure they're going for. So let's take a look at some of the preview art here. I am a big fan of Ed McGuinness, especially when he draws these big, bulky characters. I think that's just like his forte. Just really, I don't know. It just the character designs that he does are fantastic. It looks like we have a little bit of a catch-up adventure time here with the Wreck Rap. I can't say that name to save my life. But I like his design, except for his feet. I hate that he has little lines all over his feet. But yeah, it's a really interesting take on a Spider-Man-like character. And of course, fun shenanigans ensue here as Peter Parker has to get involved in all this stuff. So yeah, I think I'm definitely going to pick this one up and just check it out. I'm very interested in the whole gang war aspect of the Spider-Man story that's coming up. So I want to catch it from the beginning. And it looks like these are some of the opening salvos that Marvel's dropping. So I'll have to check out what's going on there. So hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview of Star Wars: The High Republic number 1. This is a new number 1 issue for the High Republic. So let's take a look at the creative team here. This book is written by Kevin Scott with art by Ario Anidito and Jim Toe. We also have inks by Mark Morales, Ario Anidito, and Jim Toe. And of course, colors by Jim Campbell, letters by Ariana Maher. So this is a new chapter in the High Republic. And here I love that Marvel gives you a little bit of a timeline so you can really understand where the High Republic falls in all this when it comes to the whole Marvel timeline. I have been dropping in and out of the High Republic. I think there's some really fun titles, and I'll usually check out a new number 1 because, of course, Marvel wants to make jumping on points, right? The whole business for them, and the reason they do a lot of number 1s is because they want to make sure to welcome new readers. So I really don't think this is an impenetrable book if you haven't been reading it, but I will say there's probably going to be a little bit of things that you may need to just catch from context. And of course, because it is a Star Wars book, we do have an opening crawl here to get you caught up a little bit. But let's see what's happening in this issue. Star Wars The High Republic returns for its explosive Phase 3. A year after the destruction of the Starlight Beacon, Martian Row and the Nihil stand victorious. The galaxy is in turmoil. The once mighty Jedi are outclassed. The Republic is on its knees, on the edges of the galactic frontier. Jedi Master Keeve Trennis leads a desperate assault against an invading force. The odds are stacked against her, but a Jedi always clings to hope, and the Force is with her. Right? Not so fast. I wish I knew a little bit more about who these characters are, I will say. But the premise sounds very fun. I mean, especially for it being the third chapter, the third phase of this High Republic stuff. Like, you know, if you've been reading it, like, the times were a lot more peaceful whenever this whole thing started. So let's take a look at some of the preview art. I think, to me, this all looks very Star Wars for sure. I do love that they have a lot more freedom with the character designs. They don't have to stick to, you know, because this is set so far back in the timeline, they can really explore character designs and concepts, like this being that's in the darkness attacking, you know, and we see the vision here, as Keeve is just trying to figure out what's going on. I really like this page of the fire, the big explosion, and this giant creature. But a Jedi must stay composed. So very interesting stuff. I think I'll definitely be picking this one up just to check it out. And if you have any High Republic recommendations, please drop them in the comments. It's something that I've been wanting to get into for a little while. There's just not enough time to read all these comic books and stuff. So I also would love to see some kind of High Republic live action or animation thing. I think it's an easier entry point for a lot of people when you do something visually and then you move into comics and books, kind of like we did with the old stuff from Star Wars. So there you have it. If you have read this, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. May the Force be with you. Bye-bye.